Hello.
Hiya, Stephen. It's
Hello.
Chris from Coventry, Fresh Coventry in Warwickshire, sorry.
Hiya, Chris.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
So, you are the director of the play Legally Blonde.
The musical. It's the musical.
The musical.
Legally Blonde. Yes, right. At the Spa Centre.
Okay. And the musical is going to be on next week from Tuesday?
That's right. Tuesday to Saturday, nightly, with a Saturday matinee a week on Saturday when we close, yeah.
So
4th to the 8th.
So I'm, as you can obviously tell, I've only just started to get into musicals myself. I'm actually going the Saturday evening.
Are you coming to see it? Oh, right, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I'll be there on the Saturday evening.
Good.
So, what is Legally Blonde about?
Well, for those of the people, your listeners who know the film that Reese Witherspoon was in, it's a stage adaptation of that. It was originally a novel, then it was turned into a musical. It turned into a film, and then the film was transferred to the Broadway stage some year back, about 2007, I think it was, as a big Broadway musical. It was a big hit and came to London and did a season at in the West End. And after musicals have done their sort of big professional release, both on Broadway and in the West End and toured, they get released on a general basis for companies throughout Great Britain to do. And so we got the rights to do it for the Leamington and Warwick Musical Society at the Spa Centre. So we're quite pleased about that because it's a great fun. It's a fun piece. It really is. It's if anybody knows the film, it is a very good adaptation of the film.
Okay. So how many people, like roughly, are taking part of this musical?
Well, we've got the main principals, which are about sort of 8 or 9, and then we have a company which do all the other smaller parts and like the choral numbers, the big numbers, what you would normally see in a film as background. They become a big chorus on the stage. Some of them sort of tell bits of the story as it goes along in musical numbers. So we've got around sort of 35 to 40 in the company, and of course then there's all the backstage people, and so it becomes a big deal really with the amount of people involved.
That is a lot of people. Yeah. So how because I know there's a couple of my friends who are in the musical. And
are they right?
Yeah, I know that they've been rehearsing for some time now. So how long has when did the rehearsal start?
The rehearsal started just after Christmas. There's the process of getting a musical actually takes about a year. That's from when we decide what the show will be, and then the production team, like myself as the director, the choreographer, and the musical director, are brought in. We then have to arrange the auditions, which took place before in the autumn last year, and then we have to deal with the scenery, the people, the costume people, all that sort of thing goes on over a period of time. But the actual music rehearsals start just before Christmas and then carry on into the new year. The choreographer comes in. We all the time. The production team are having meetings to form the shape of the show, and then we start in earnest. I started in January, and we block out the show, and then bit by bit rehearse it. Of course, everybody has to learn the lines and the songs and what have you. So it is quite an intensive program, really. Once we get going.
Yeah, and how are you feeling? How are you feeling about it? We're
all right. We had a very, very good rehearsal yesterday. I've had another one with my leading lady today because I like to go, do like a one-to-one with people because it's a very, very big part. She's hardly ever off the stage. So of course with all the parts we give as much encouragement and as much work as we can. So we've got another couple of rehearsals because we have to rehearse in rooms. We don't get into the theatre until next weekend. So next weekend is manic. All the scenery arrives, all the costumes arrive, and then the orchestra has to be rehearsed. And we actually get 2 days in the theatre, and then we open. So that's all we get. So transferring from a room where we've just got chairs and bits of props, we then get the full thing on the stage next Sunday.
Wow.
It's a big undertaking, yes.
I am so looking forward to seeing it. Anyways, on a personal note, Sorry.
No, go on.
I seen my first ever musical the other month called Kiss Me Kate.
Oh, wonderful! That's one of the classics. That is.
So,
where did you see that? Where did you see that?
I seen that at the Leamington Spa Centre.
Oh yeah, oh yes. Well, funnily enough, the choreographer of that show, Aaron, is also choreographing this show.
Oh wow,
he's a great choreographer. But Kiss Me Kate is what there's. I mean, there's thousands of musicals. I mean, there's so many, but you get what they call the classic ones from different eras. Kiss Me Kate was actually written in 1946,
wow.
So it's been around for a long time, and it's been revived many times on Broadway and in the West End and filmed. But it is by the great composer called Cole Porter, who wrote that many hit songs back in that period. So yeah, and of course it's based on a great play, which is Taming of the Shrew. Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, so you can't get any better than a good basis for a musical. I mean, all the great musicals are there are quite a few original ones, but most of them are based on the classics: West Side Story, My Fair Lady. I'm actually doing My Fair Lady next in Birmingham.
How are you?
And that, yes, I moved straight onto that the week after this, so we do that in June at the Alexandra Theatre in Birmingham, and that's a big show, My Fair Lady. And of course, that's been around since 1956. So it's 54 actually, if I'm right. So these classics come along, and Kiss Me Kate, My Fair Lady, all the Rodgers and Hammersteins, South Pacific Sound of Music, all those. They get revived quite a lot. So we're hoping that Legally Blonde, as it's quite a well-known film, and the musicals become very popular. And it's selling very well, so obviously people want to see it, which is great for us,
Yeah, definitely. And so we're going to be playing a couple of songs from the is it the original Broadway?
It's the original Broadway cast. Yes, I sent you that. You'll be playing the ballad part, the song "Legally Blonde." It starts off as a ballad, and then a bit later on in the show, it's a big up-tempo, like a remix, as they call it in the score. So it's but you're going to have, and then you've got another one I think called "Positive," isn't it? You're doing, which is a big sort of song that the leading character. I can't tell you the name of the leading character because it's part of your quiz, I believe. So
yes,
yes. I've got to keep quiet about that. But it's her big number where she's determined to go and make something of herself in Harvard. She goes to law school in Harvard. Hence the Legally Blonde title.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much
for
giving us your time, and because obviously you must be really busy at the moment, with the musical about to be starting next Tuesday.
Yes, it's rehearsing all the time and getting everything ready, meetings and whatever. So it is a big time, and of course, it all culminates next Tuesday when we open. So come along and find me on the Saturday. I should be around, so come and say hello on Saturday night. That'd be great, yeah.
And I want to ask one question just before we go. I just want to ask, on a personal note, what is the best musical you've ever seen?
Oh, that really is difficult because there are so many. I mean, I've directed hundreds, and you tend to love the one you're doing at the moment. The best musical I've ever seen, I think probably one of my favourite musicals ever, actually was revived recently in the West End, is with Imelda Staunton, a great actress, and it's called Gypsy.
Oh, right.
And it's been around, and that's been around for a number of years as well. But that's another one of the great musicals. But there are so many. I mean, from all eras, right back to the 40s, 50s, through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. When you think of, you know, the Les Mises and the Phantoms that came along much later, but they were all before then, going right back. There were great ones being written and that have been revived. I mean, Sound of Music. I mean, you think of the Sound of Music. It was written in 1959. People forget how old it is, but it comes round year after year, and Oklahoma goes back even further, goes back to 1943, but gets revived many, many times. So, you know, it's very difficult to actually put a favourite there, because when I tend to start work on a new show, it's with you, you know, 24 hours a day, really. So it becomes your favourite at the times. It's not an easy question to answer, really.
Well, thank you anyway, Stephen.
That's all right.
I will try and find you on Saturday to say hello.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, come and say hello. That'd be great.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No
See you
problem.
later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.